Before we get too far into this video, I ought to explain the inspiration for this illustration and the one in the previous video, which if you've not seen, I'll leave a link to in the description. You can check that out later. Affinity Designer on the iPad. I've finally, after months and months, I've had the iPad. I got this in March last year, and I would have got Affinity about the same sort of time. I've been playing around with it, and I've been jumping from Inkscape on the PC, which I know quite well, and to Affinity on the iPad. And I think I've finally, something's clicked in the last few weeks with Affinity Designer. I just get it. And what started it all off was this illustration. When you get Affinity, you get some like demo examples of what you can do with it. And one of the examples is this, which I think I've shown you before on another video ages ago. But that illustration of that Porsche, yeah, I'm a bit of a Porsche fan, so Porsche, whatever you want. When I saw that, I thought, if this is possible with Affinity Designer, then I want to know how to do it. And I think I'm finally getting somewhere. Now, I'm using a new camera on the channel, a Sony A6400. It's a bit too heavy for my top-down rig, so I'm shooting straight off a tripod. It's a little bit awkward for me, but I'm hoping it's worth it for you at your end. The first thing we're going to do with this Mini is grab the pen tool, and we're going to trace around the main outline of the bodywork. Now, this car, unfortunately, it's grey and black, so there's lots of black on it I don't need. I think a lot of the top section of the roof, the spoiler, all the glass area I don't need, so I might just come straight across here and straight down, and then all the rear valance and the side skirts are also black, so I can probably skip over those. So that's the first order of business. Let's get that done. If you've not seen my how-to quick start guide on Affinity Designer for iPad, I'll leave a link in the description for that, because that explains all about the pen tool and loads of other stuff, and it just saves me from including explanations in every video. As you saw in the time lapse, I was just using the pen tool and I was making straight edges, straight selections. Don't worry about doing curves as you go, it'll take too long. Just get your nodes in position, jump across corners. Things like, for here example, I've gone, rather than just do one point in the corner, I've done two corners. So I can come back in with the node tool and I can bend that, get a nice curve, and you can always tap on the node and straighten up and get a nice smooth edge that follows the photograph underneath. And just to help things along, I've gone ahead and just done a bit of the black, so I'll just turn that layer back on and you'll start to see it come together. And that essentially is the technique that I use. I just follow the photograph underneath, a little bit of planning ahead. Like for example, the wheel is going to be, let me just move that out of the way. I'll sort that out in a second. The wheel I'll do slightly differently, because that'll be a black disc or a dark disc, rather than trying to follow every hole and every little detail. Start off with one complete black disc. Same with the brake disc, I'll put that in, and then start layering up. So I'll end on the diamond cut finish, and somewhere in between I'll do the reflections. So it'll be like a sandwich of layers, each revealing a little bit more until you get to the top layer. And I'll just repeat that around the car. And for those of you that have been with me a little while, you'll know this is how I do things. And I'm going to start reducing this section of the video, because what I want to start doing is really getting out, finding cars, finding the people, the owners. I don't really want to be going around supermarket car parks and finding stuff in the street. I want to be meeting people, seeing the cars, taking pictures. I want to get a new lens for the Sony, and start skipping this bit and making the videos a bit more interesting, a bit more about the cars, and I'll do all the artwork in the background, and then see where that takes us. So here we are, many hours later, a few days later. I did a couple of hours, or 3 or 4 hours each day. I have got a question for Affinity, or anybody out there that might know. It's done. I've got this problem with this drawing. I've got it on the. I'm going to give you a sneak preview on the next project that I'm doing, and it's done this on that one as well. But if I look at the badge, for some reason, even when I deselect everything, it's like these are still highlighted, and it's done it on. It's been there since I did the badge. I don't know why. Can't get rid of it. It's exported and it's not on the export. So that's fine. I can live with it, but it's just annoying. If I go to the move tool, I go select all, and then deselect, it's still there. It's just I can't seem to deselect it. But if you tap on, there you go. It's gone. But as soon as you come back to the move tool, it pops back. Weird. So that's annoying. But yeah, I'll live with it. With that little gripe out the way, here's my layer stack. It doesn't look too bad actually, but there's a lot of sub stacks inside. So parents and children, I think Affinity call them. I did add at the top, the very last thing I did, I wanted to create a bit of texture on the illustration, and I'm not sure how well the camera is going to pick this up, but I put a noise layer over the top and realised that actually that looks like metallic paint. So I think what I might do, rather than have it over the whole thing, I'm going to mask off at some point this paint and just apply the noise to the paint so it looks like metallic paint, which I think is pretty cool. I found that out by accident. So definitely going to use that in the future. But yeah, none of this is difficult as such. It's just time consuming and repetitive. So we go into, I think my biggest one's what I call block detail, which is the bodywork really. If I just open that, you'll see there's quite a lot going on. Some of it I renamed just to help me find things. Some of it I don't bother because large panels you can find pretty easily. And anything that needs, like wheels and tyres, have got their own section. Just tap on that. And this is pretty cool. You can actually, with a move tool, you can actually lower it. That's the bits on their own. So yeah, you can... if you do it on a separate section, you can actually lower the car, which is pretty fun. And I think the other area of interest on this one was the tail light, which was, when I saw the photograph, it was pretty terrifying. So I'm quite pleased with how that came out. It was done by following the photograph as faithfully as I could, and then I just eyeballed the spacing. Actually, let me just see if I can turn everything off. I'll show you the photograph. Let's go with, there you go. Right, so that's the photo. So yeah, just went over with the pen tool by hand and then spaced it out as best I could. And it's a bit like doing a grill. The next project I'm doing has some fairly intricate grills. So let's give you a quick sneak peek of the next project. So here's the next project I'm working on, Fiat Abarth, which is, it's a local car just parked around the corner. I just had to walk past it and snap it. Didn't use my Sony though. I had my old Google Pixel, and it's not the best photo to start with. So I've got to start taking this camera out more to get the detail, because the back wheel, I'll show you the photograph in a second. The back wheel is a bit ambiguous. I'm going to have to do my best guess on that, I think. But it's coming on really well. Loads of detail on this front grille. We'll just start turning stuff off. I'll just show you this headlight. That's pretty much finished, and that's just got a few sections in, so you can see the progress, the transition on that. So let's just turn off let's turn everything off, apart from the guy's number plate. I don't want you seeing that. You can have a look at the main event. So yeah, I'm going to work out all these grill sections, all this honeycomb, and that'll be fun. It's not as bad as, actually there's quite a lot behind the Abarth sign. So yeah, that's the next project, which will be coming in a video pretty soon. So ultimately, what does this all mean for the channel? It means I can confidently plow ahead with increasingly complex and technical drawings, which is going to be really good fun. It does mean I'm going to have to maybe change how I video things, because 12 to 14 hours, I can see me doing 20-hour drawings before long, just to get to where I want to be. I can't really film that because I do most of my filming in the garage, which is not ideal. It's a bit oppressive, actually. No windows. Anyway, the iPad gives me the flexibility of mobility, so I can go into a coffee shop, I can go to McDonald's down the road and just sit for a couple of hours, no distractions, and chuck out a bit of productivity. I could take the camera, I suppose, maybe. Could do that. But yeah, the videos are going to have to change, so I might, rather than do a how-to on drawing the whole thing, I think I might just concentrate on one part of the vehicle. And then with each consecutive drawing, I'll move around the car, so you get how to do reflections, how to do shadows, how to do wheels, how to do metal, how to do metallic surfaces. There's a ton of stuff we could do. So I'm hoping that the next few months and then into the spring, when we start hitting the car shows again, because it's winter now, we've got no car shows. I don't know what I'm going to do for photos in the next few weeks, but we'll figure something out. Yeah, and so next year's looking really good now. So thanks for staying with me this long. And if you have watched to the end, please consider, if you've not already, hit the like button. It would help me out. And maybe even subscribe to the channel. My name's Dan. This is Petrol Vectors.